Hi, this is John from the GadgetHelpline.com, and we're here to do a review of the Samsung Galaxy Note. The Samsung Galaxy Note is the latest Android smartphone from Samsung. It's actually a bit of a cross between a tablet device and a standard Android handset for the manufacturer. The first things first that you may notice on this is the size of the actual handset. What the Galaxy Note is it's a bit of a crossover and features a 5.29-inch screen, which is quite huge. What I'll do first of all, just a comparison to show it off, is we will bring in the Samsung Galaxy S2 just to really showcase the actual size of the handset on there. Now, first things first, we'll have a quick look at the actual handset. What you've got your standard home key on the bottom of the Galaxy. At the top you've got a camera there for front-facing video calls. And if we turn it on the side, first of all you've got your power keys. At the bottom you have a micro USB port, and what you can see there is the stylus pen, or the S Pen. We'll go into that in just a second. On the other side you have the volume up and down keys. On top of the device you have your headphone jack. Very simple, no extra keys on there for anything like the camera, so you have to do everything through the menu system. If you turn it over, you've got your speaker, your 8 megapixel camera and your LED flash. On the back as well, you've got a matte finish with a grip on there, so it means it doesn't fall out your hand. But the biggest selling point of the handset really is the size of the actual screen there. If you take a look at the side, it's quite slim. It's about the same size as the Galaxy S2, slightly fatter. But what we will say is that the handset itself feels great in your actual hand. Now that the phone's all up, what we do to unlock it is you just tap on the screen, and it's got a drag box you drag outside of it to go into it. Go to the actual main screen of it, and first thing you may notice if you're an Android user is along the actual main screen here you have a space for a further one more app on the side there. So instead of the standard 4 that you would have on a screen, there's a 5th app there. Now we'll have a quick scan through here, just go through some of the features we've got on here. Got our S calendar, some AP mobile apps and the inbox on there. Pictures, links to Yahoo Finance and some bookmarks, as well as a couple more apps on there. This here is the actual Samsung Jotter and the part of the memo pad features on here, as well as links to the app market. And then we get all the way back around to the main screen. Now, as you can see, apps are moved about so that it fits onto the larger screen, and the actual phone itself uses the Samsung TouchWiz user interface. So what that means is it's got a lot of the Samsung features on there, such as the Samsung Social Hub. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the thing that you should use on the actual handset, because we've actually found that the Social Hub's a bit awkward to use. Sometimes, it doesn't bring up pictures across what you're actually looking for, and it's a bit bland really, so we actually choose to use the individual apps for things like Twitter and Facebook on there. All in all though, due to the size of the screen, the actual handset itself is very easy to use. The buttons and the apps are large, most things have been resized across onto there, and it means that it really shows off the features of the actual handset and the Android operating system. Right, so the major selling point on the actual Samsung Galaxy Note is the size of the screen on there. The first thing you'll also notice when actually using the device is the complete crispness of the actual display. When using things like images or games on the device, it's very, very clear and the display is beautiful. If I just click on here, what we do is just load up Angry Birds, as we normally do. Click play. As you see, the colours are very clear, it's very bright, things are resized to it, and it's great for viewing images and videos on there. Speaking of which, what Samsung have actually done is they've incorporated a great 8 megapixel camera into the device, so that not only can you just view images on the device, you can also capture your own ones on there. So if I go online, take a photo just there. Very clear picture, captures the moment immediately. If I click on that, I can then display. Zooms very well into the actual pictures, and obviously on top of that you've got all the Android options where you can share the images in there. To top this off as well, what you have is a full HD camcorder to use on the actual device. If I go onto there, now what that does, it will start recording in 1920 by 1080, and it records at 24 or 30 frames per second, and it can play back pretty much every video file they actually do on there. So what that means is not only can you film your own great images and videos, you can also play back pretty much anything you want on there. This is another one of the key selling points of the actual handset, where you can actually start to play back all your media on the device. So if I go back into my gallery, what we'll do is we'll look for some images here. Now, using the 1.4 GHz processor, we'll just quickly play a video on there. And you'll be able to see Completely perfect picture on there. Sound's coming out of the speaker's phones at the moment. No lag on there whatsoever, and you can just pretty much watch whatever you want on the device. It's a great feature, especially if you're on the move and if you sat on a train journey or something like that, you want to just waste some time. The next big selling point of the Samsung Galaxy Note is the stylus. Now we're just going down to the bottom of the device, pull out the stylus and just take a quick look at it. Now, first thing to remember is Samsung do not want you calling this a stylus. This is the Samsung S Pen. As you see on the device, you've got the Samsung logo there, and it looks quite similar to the actual Nintendo DS's stylus in size and with the little nubbin on the end. Now, there's also the S Pen button on there, which we'll just talk to you in a second. So, using the device normally, what you can do is use the S Pen pretty much as you're using your finger. If you prefer to use the stylus, you can go ahead and just do all the normal features you would. So if you click on messaging, type message in there, you can just tap away your actual message. Alternatively, what you can do is you can actually click on the T button there and you can actually start to inscribe your text message. So, hello. And there you go, it spots it. Now this takes a little bit of getting used to when you're actually using the stylus. Anybody who's used one in the past will probably find it quite familiar, and it's not always the most responsive. What we actually found in the long run is just by using the actual keyboards much quicker, either with the stylus or with your hands. As per usual, if you turn it to the side, you actually get quite a large keyboard on there. And again, with the actual size of the screen here, it does make it slightly difficult to use the handset on this side, especially if you're like me and you focus your fingers just to the left here and use your right hand to actually go all the way across. But the real trick with the actual stylus is when you start using the actual button on the handset. What this does is it unlocks a whole load of different features and shortcuts onto the device. So what you do is you press and hold it. You saw it's a little bit awkward to get hold of there for me, but you just press and hold the button on there, and if you double tap, it'll bring up your S memory section. Okay, if I cancel out there. Or equally, if you just press the button down, slide it up, what it does, it brings up your menu. Or even if you press the button down and press and hold it, that'll capture an image for you. There's quite a few of these little shortcuts built into the actual handset. It's automatically opened it up there. What I can now do as well, this is one of the other features of the actual Note, using the S memory section, is I can start to actually edit the actual device there. So if I take that, I can then move it about and just pretty much play about with it as you would do with any other picture editing tool. Now, apart from the quick shortcuts on the device, one of the main features and uses for the stylus pen is by using the S memory system on here. Just go in there, get rid of the warning message. Now what the actual S memory is literally a memo system that you can use. You can also add and edit pictures to it, you can write your own stuff, and if you were that way inclined, as Samsung has shown here, you can actually draw yourself some images. Now if I click on there, I'll go to a new one. So what we'll do first of all is we just showcase the typing or the scribing. Hello. But if you're starting to feel a little bit more creative, what you can do is just click on the drop down. You've got a few options here. So you've got voice and picture. So if we get a picture, like that, get a picture of our table up. Oh no, some Lego figures. Just there. What you can do on top of that is you can actually go in and have a look at the clip art section. Start adding on a few features there. So if I take my little heart, add it to the end there. There you go, create yourself a picture memo with a little bit of typing. It's quite a cool feature. Obviously it's going to be used for both fun and for business. We just save out there, we'll return back to the main screen. And in total, the stylus pen is quite a cool little addition. It's something that if you like a stylus, is very good to use, and sometimes it's great to actually be able to navigate it through using it. But in all honesty, we didn't find ourselves using it a huge amount when actually using the Note. Pretty much the best feature of the Samsung Galaxy Note is the actual battery life on the device. Now you would be forgiven for thinking that with the size of the screen, the apps that it runs and some of the features that are on the Note, that it would have a very poor battery life. But what Samsung have done, if they've incorporated a Li-ion 2500 mAh battery in the device, now what that means is that it's probably got the best battery life of any smartphone out there at the moment. On a standard day, using the handset as a normal phone, say for example having active work emails, Gmail, and using it as a handset, you'd probably get 24 hours out of it. But if you're using the handset quite conservatively, then you can actually get a good 48 hours out of the device while still using it as your smartphone. It's by far one of the best batteries we've got, and with a little bit of careful planning, so turning the brightness down, changing the screen brightness, turning off things like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, you can actually get quite a long lifetime out of it. Altogether though, we absolutely love the Samsung Galaxy Note. It's probably the best iteration of the Android operating system, especially with the large screen, and it's definitely Samsung's best handset in our opinion. It's almost exactly the same as the Samsung Galaxy S2, but you get the extra features from the actual large screen, like the video playback, and with the 1.4 GHz processor, it pretty much runs everything on the device. We don't use the things like the S Pen very often, but you know, they're still good to have that option for the memos and the actual additional features on there, and we would definitely recommend this smartphone to anybody. You could pick up the handset for about £600 SIM-free. We got ours from Clove Technologies, who are very gracious to lend us the device, so check them out. But other than that, if you're looking for one, you should be able to get one for about £600 from good retailers. This is John from Gadget Helpline Videos. Make sure you check us out online on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter, and check on the website for the latest gadget news, reviews and help. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.